وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات سيدنا محمد وعلى
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمद.
सफीर मेहदी नाम का एक बच्चा है, उसकी वालदा उसको ढूंढ रही है। मोहम्मद बारिदी का नारा सलावत। चलिए फिर इसी को उन्होंने गुफ्तगू बनाए। When we'll come to the ayah that I used to start our conversation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah states and stipulates, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي, and when those people who are my subjects, my servants, when they ask you or inquire you about me, tell him, I am close. فَإِنِّي قَرِيب أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي. And he has defined the proximity. He says, I am close, and then he stipulates, he says, when he calls upon me, I respond. When he calls upon me, I respond. We'll come back to that inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grace us with the tawfiq of the ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salatu wasalam in this dunya and his shafa'ah in the akhirah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. There's a reason the land of Karbala is a land of Karb and Bala. That is for those who have been tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Ahlul Bayt. But on the other hand, it is also a land of miracles. For those who haven't been, we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the tawfiq, that they go to Karbala and they witness the miracle that is Aba Abdullah al-Husayn, that is the holy land of Karbala. And there's many reasons and there's many ways a man can connect to his Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. And it goes back to everybody's mindset and how they connect to what they connect to. Their level of ma'rifah, their level of understanding. And the Imam respects each and every one of them. So, just how I have to announce this boy's name right now. When you're in Karbala and Arba'in, you keep hearing different names come across and they keep announcing different people. And I've had the good fortune of being in one of those camps as a volunteer when I was in the when I was with the Haram of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu. It's very interesting how many people come up to you and they register a complaint or a lost person. And for those that I was present for, most of them have been found. They were just misplaced.
Yeah.
But the cases were very interesting. I remember a time when there was a caravan that had come from Kerman in Iran. A caravan had come from Kerman in Iran, and I was sitting there with Sheikh al-Muhammad, family name is al-Kababi. We were sat there, and a young man came up to us and he said, I need to register 2 missing people. And he gives us the name. Older gentleman, a male, and a lady. He says these 2 are a couple, and both of them are lost. Like, okay, where was the last time we saw them? Details, we got them. So we found out that either the husband or the wife, one of them was blind, and the other also had issues with their vision. So it was an older couple. And I asked the young man, are they related to you? This is a very interesting story he said. He says, my parents passed away and I could not bring them for ziyarah. And many caravans, they do not take old people with them because it is a liability, there's responsibilities. So I've taken it upon me that those people who get rejected by their caravans, I take them with myself. So this is the khidmah he's making to Imam Hussain alayhi salatu. And he says, these two people who are lost, we're looking for them. And the husband cannot see, and the wife also has difficulty with vision. So while we were sat there, and the whole caravan was sat in front of us, a small group of old people, elderly people, all very worried, very concerned. And the group leader was sat beside us, very mutmain, very relaxed. And I asked him, he says, you should be more concerned and more worried because they'll turn around and ask you. He says, no, this is not my responsibility. This is the responsibility of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu. There's a war. Only a few minutes have passed. You have an elderly fellow who cannot see. On the right side of the camp, people ran towards the right side and they said, oh, he's here. Again, we found the other person. As soon as he entered from this side, the other side, his wife entered from the other side. So I asked the caravan leader, it's like, ये अक्सर होता है कि नहीं बहुत दफा होता है ये उसका lived experience है. This is his experience. The other experience I'd like to share, this is Shab Jum'ah, inshallah, this gives the tashweeq that we go to visit Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Please recite the salawat Muhammad. I'll come back to my topic. I have prepared a talk, but this is Shab Jum'ah and this came up. There's so many incidents I can narrate here, but something I witnessed where I was present in a hotel waiting for a cousin of mine, and there was a young child of the Hazara community, but he'd come from Canada. We were sat in Karbala, and he lost his passport on the way in the Mashi. He lost his passport in the Mashi, and his uncle and his brother had gone to look for their passport in the Mashi. 90-kilometer stretch, millions of people, और उनका हौसला देखे वो चले भी गए ढूंढने के लिए और यहाँ बैठा. And he was very concerned, very worried. So my cousin said, yeah, don't worry, your passport will be found. He said, no, I'm not worried about the passport. He said, when I came for ziyarah, my main intention was to meet and make the ziyarah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But I was told that two of his favorite Noha Khans would be present and they would do matamdari in a particular hotel in Karbala. And today is that time. Those people are here, they're doing matamdari, and I'm stuck here in this hotel. So my cousin asked him, he says, why don't you go attend the program, come back. When your uncle and your brother comes, I'll let them know you've gone. He says, no, my uncle will be very upset. I've lost the passport as it is, and now if I disappear, he'll be very upset. Just then, a group of 50 or 60 people rushes into the hotel. They go upstairs to the top floor, and there's Matam and Sinazani. And this boy is alarmed. And he says, this is the person I came here to listen to. Yehi wo Noha Khan, isi ko main sunne aaya. So my cousin says, but go upstairs, if you isi ko sunne aaya to upar chale jao. Yahan tak to chacha ijazat de denge. So he goes upstairs and he attends the matamdari, hour and a half, comes down. And this horde of people, 50 or 60 people who had rushed in, rushed out exactly the same way they came in. So now he sat there, he's had his adadari, he's done his kursa, he's done his girga, he sat there. The owner of the hotel comes out, he's very upset, the Iraqi fellow who was hosting us. So I asked him, like, why are you upset? He says, this Pakistani people, they do matam everywhere. He says, these people were booked to do matam in the opposite hotel across the road. I don't know why they came here. I don't know how they showed up here. Their booking was not here, the booking was across the street on the other side. Those who've been to Karbala, those who may have run into small, slight problems or issues, will relate and understand, and those who cannot understand this on this particular level right now, inshallah, you go for ziyarah. When you notice the micromanagement of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, the micromanagement performed by Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, you'll be amazed in that. And this is small things. It does not prove the qadr and qutra and manzila. Because those who are there, they haven't gone there looking for proofs. Hussein has performed miracles in their lives already. They're gone there to thank Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. No one goes to Ziyarat Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam looking for a proof. They've already arrived at a station of understanding and faith and belief that now they've gone to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam to thank Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wasalam. Please write salawat Muhammad wa Not only is the ziyarah of Abdullah alayhi salatu wasalam recommended by each of the ma'soomeen, not only is it a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the lisan or through the tongue and the teachings of the ma'soomeen alayhi salatu wasalam. A hadith my teacher often quotes, and it is found in tradition. Not only the visitation of Imam Hussein is important, man zara zahirna kaman zarana. Someone who visits our visitor is as if he's visited us. Someone who visits the Zair of Imam Hussein is as if he's visited us. The khair you expect from Imam Hussein, you will attain it. The barakah you expect from Imam Hussein, you will attain it. The rizq you expect from Imam Hussein, you will attain it. The shifa you expect from Imam Hussein, you will attain it by visiting not Imam Hussein, his Zair as well. Allah give us the tawfiq to become the zuwar of Sayyid al-Shuhada. In this dunya his ziyarah and the akhirah his shifa. A question sometimes children ask, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي. Where is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we arrive at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And they asked the Prophet the same question. They asked the Prophet the same question. He says, where is Allah? Allah says, call upon me. Ud'uni. When you call upon me, I will respond. For those people who like to debate in madhab, for instance, a munadara, which is a fashion of guidance. So you have for instance, someone from a different madhab or a different maktab or different tafaqquh. He brings his riwayat, you bring your riwayat, and then there's a debate competition. My advice to them is, because most of the children present, they come up like, Maulana, my friend said this, how should I respond? They're saying a particular idea, how should I respond? I would like to share an observation with all those present here, and inshallah, if you have a separate experience, you can share that with me as well. We, as the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, can signpost people and show them either in our character or in our antics and habits the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu. But ultimately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the muqallib al-qulub. No shaykh, no ayatullah, no peer, no one has the power to make inqilab in the qalb of anyone. This is only by the lutf and the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that someone finds hidayah and the door of the Ahlul Bayt. And this is what is, I would like people, especially people who go on social media, it says, Maulana Sahib, usne ye likha, main kya jawab दूं? मैंने ये लिखा, उसने ये कहा. As long as there's tahqiq and there's understanding and you're learning to grow yourself, guidance is always there. And this also needs to be understood. Anybody who makes talabul ilm, anybody who makes talabul ilm so he can have an upper hand on the adu or the enemy, or anyone who's not him. there's many categories of someone learning knowledge. Sometimes people learn knowledge so they become knowledgeable. They get a good job, for instance. I'm talking about talab al-ilm, deen. Anybody, the Imam says, anybody who makes talab al-ilm so he can embarrass the other, this man is marhum. If the intention of acquiring knowledge, the acquisition of knowledge, is to embarrass the other, the Imam says this ilm has no benefit, and this man is marhum. But someone who acquires knowledge to grow and understand and live the experience he's chosen to acquire, that person is then a true alim or a talib. Again, going back to this ayah. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي. A su'al is in many fashions. A su'al is when I have a haja and I require you to respond to me, fulfill that haja. उर्दू में कहते हैं सवाली, अभी सवाली है, मांगने वाला है बेचारा. Su'al is on many different levels. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ, when my abd requires me, when he's looking for me. So this is not only a haja which is material, this is a haja which is metaphysical also, which is beyond tangible world living. When, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi when they come to you and they ask you, inquire about me, when they're looking for me, when lost souls, when people who do not know where to go, when people who find themselves at crossroads, iman, no iman, ilm, no ilm. Al-dhulma, sometimes there's dilemmas people get involved with, and inshallah Allah protect the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt from that, but there comes a time, people call it midlife crisis, existential crisis, where sometimes your iman starts changing. Sometimes where you question the basic fundamentals that you grew up on. You start questioning, it's like, is this true? Is this not true? ये जो बता रहे हैं ये इसी तरह से है, नहीं है, बचपन से हमारा अकीदा यही है, लेकिन क्या ये दुरुस्त अकीदा है? अज़ीज़ान, जब तक आपका अकीदा सुमाई होगा, सुन के फॉलो करेंगे, तब वहाँ पे इम्कान है भटकने का. सबसे बड़ी इबादत है. इबादतें बहुत सारी, लेकिन जो इबादतों की बुनियाद बनती है वो एक्शनेबल चीज है, वो है तफक्कुर और तदब्बुर. किताब याद जहल जो है उसूल काफी के अंदर इसको बुनियाद इसी तरह बनाया गया है. इसका कभी जिंदगी रही तो मुतालिया करेंगे इंशाअल्लाह. तफक्कुर, sit down and think. Many people, somebody asked me a question and I realized that some knowledge is not very general and needs to be expounded. जो तकलीद का मसला होता है ना, कहते हैं हम तकलीद क्यों करें, किसकी तकलीद करें? तकलीद का काम शुरू ही से है. नमाज किस तरह पढ़नी है, इसी शक्ल में पढ़नी है, उसने आलिम दीन ने अपनी तहकीक की होती है, आपको अपनी तहकीक बता देता है कि कुरान और रिवायात की रोशनी में नमाज इस तरह से पढ़ोगे, रोज़ा इस तरह से रखोगे, हज पे जाओगे तो ये काम करने होंगे, आपकी जहमत कम हो जाए. ये तमाम आपके फुरुआत हैं. अकीदे में तकलीद हराम है. अकीदा आप किसी से नहीं लेते. There is no taqleed in usuluddin. How you believe in Allah is on you. It is not on somebody else told me this. How you believe in the Risala is on you. It's not how Fulan Alim, Fulan Alama, Fulan teaches us. Everybody should have his own sanad. Everybody should have his own dalail. Everyone should have their own hujjah. How we believe that? Yes. Sometimes we get, Allah bless the companions of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, who ask poignant questions. इमाम मेरा इसके बारे में अकीदा क्या होना चाहिए? शाह अब्दुल अजीम हसनी, मैं यहाँ पढ़ चुका हूँ मुफस्सल. इसके बारे में, अल्लाह के बारे में क्या अकीदा होना चाहिए, बयान हो चुका है. रसूल के बारे में अकीदा क्या होना चाहिए, बयान होना चाहिए. अब आप अपनी फिक्र की ताकत से, through the power of your intellect, for each and every one listening, how do you establish aqidah? The standard has been laid by the Ahlul Bayt. You need to arrive at that standard. The standard has been laid by the Ahlul Bayt. You need to arrive at that standard by yourself. This is your struggle. कुछ काम हम आप भी करें. रिसालत के बारे में अकीदा मुहकम मुस्तहकम हो और ऐसा हो कि फिर हवाएं चले तो अकीदा खराब ना हो. इमामत, infallibility of the मासूम, the ilm ghaib of the मासूम, the raj'at of the मासूम, the hukuma of the dawla of sahib al-asr wa zaman ajal Allah ta'ala farajah sharif. These are all established in riwayat. We need to upgrade and arrive not only in mental capacity of understanding and logic, but also a place of faith and iman in our hearts. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. Call upon me. Udu'uni astajib lakum. But the call should be real. The call should be sincere. It is Allah's promise. You call me and I will respond. When you are lost, sit down with yourself. When you're alone, call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Call upon Allah and ask Him, I have an issue with this. How do I understand this? This does not, I am not there in Iman. Allah upgrade me. This is your job. This is your job. You call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah will respond, this is your job. But many a times you've seen this in Rawada. What is Allah's job? A man standing in the masjid calls upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Amir shows up and the Amir gives him his ring. He says, मैंने तो अल्लाह से मांगा था. वो अल्लाह का काम है कि जिसको वसीला किसको सबब बनाता है और अल्लाह ने अहले बैत से वसीला को बेहतर बनाया नहीं है. दो पहलू हैं इस बात के, दो जागे. There's two aspects to this. उदऊनी अस्ताजिब लकुम. You call me, I will respond. Sometimes, and please understand, if there's a question, sometimes the I is the Dad of Muhammad. Sometimes the I is the Dad of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sometimes the I is Fatimah Zahra Salamullah alayha.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
If परेशानी हो रही तो दूसरे हाथ पढ़ दूं, वमा रमैत इज़ रमैत वलाकिन्न अल्लाह रमा. You did not throw what you threw, it was Allah who threw. If there's any person whose actions Allah can attribute to Himself and they can attribute to Allah, is only Muhammad and Al Muhammad. And Allah has made it very clear and very evident for all to follow. If you're looking for me, all of knowledge that you need, anything that is knowledge, is contained within a city called Muhammad. Anything that is knowledge, anything you need to come to me, is all contained in a city called Muhammad. And the Prophet has said, and this city has a door. That door is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Anything you can come up with, anything you conjure, any question you ask. Again, this is something experiential. Please go back and think about this. There is no question you can think of which you would say, your question is very original, no one's thought about this question. हाँ, specific science के अंदर बहुत specific कोई question हो, वो अलग है. लेकिन जो असली असासी philosophical questions होते हैं, those questions that a man often, when he sits with himself, asks, all those questions have been asked by the Aimma, all the questions have been answered by the Aimma, all the questions exist in the book. But there will come a time, sometimes you sit down, and the answer does not connect with you. It happens sometimes. You pick up a book, the Imam has answered a question, and it doesn't connect with you. Sometimes it may seemingly not make sense to you. The problem is not with the response in the Imam's answer. The problem is we are not there at the understanding just yet. This is we pray to Allah, Ud'uni astajib lakum. Ya Allah at-tafahum. Ya Allah at-tasheel at-tafahum. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help us in understanding the Ahlul Bayt. Many people were sitting in the company of the Prophet. Many people sat in the company of the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. But the dua we continuously recite, Allahumma arifni nafsaka, fa innaka lam tu'arifni nafsaka. Lam arif nahi hai. If I don't know you, I don't know the Prophet. If I don't know the Prophet, I don't know the Wali. If I don't know the Wali, I don't know the Sahib. If I don't know the Sahib, dalaltu an dini. I've lost religion. I've lost touch with anything that I've learned from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. The ma'rifah is what you ask for. And many people say ma'rifah of Allah is enough. There is no ma'rifah of Allah without Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Anything you call ma'rifah of Allah and there's no Ahlul Bayt present, it is only a figment of your imagination. That is not the Allah that Muhammad worships. That is not the Allah of Ali ibn Abi Talib. That is not the Allah of Fatima Zahra salam alayha. It is a conjured up Allah. It is a fabricated understanding. And when the understanding of Allah is flawed, everything that stems from it is flawed as well. This is why revisiting your aqa'id, revisiting the foundations of faith is important. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ. Look throughout history. Anytime you've called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's always come through a wasila. That wasila takes you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the wasila is always Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. The wasila is always Ahlul Bayt. Somebody asked me a question, but is it correct to ask from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam? If we go to the Ahlul Bayt, we stand at the ghari and we ask the Ahlul Bayt. We go to the alam, we ask them for ये ठीक है मानना, अल्लाह का नाराज नहीं होगा. अगर अल्लाह ने मना किया तो अल्लाह नाराज होता. जब अल्लाह दरवाजे ही दिखा रहा है बार बार, जब अल्लाह दरवाजे ही बार बार दिखा रहा है, मुझसे चाहिए यहाँ जाओ, मुझसे चाहिए यहाँ मिलेगा. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed. This is His plan. This is how He chooses for it to be. If some people have a problem with that, the problem is not with what we have to say. The problem then goes back to Tawheed. You don't know how Allah operates. Allah created Adam for what purpose? Allah created Adam for what purpose? To make ibadah of Allah, yes? Ibadah के अंदर क्या क्या काम होते हैं? रुकू भी को करना है, सजदा भी को करना है. आदम को खल्क नहीं सबको क्या अमर किया अल्लाह ने? Allah created Adam so that Tawheed can be preserved in human form. And the first thing Allah commands the angels to do is for sajda. What are idols made of? जो बुत होता है, idol, people who worship idols, what are idols made of? Stone, rocks, wood. खाने का किन चीजों से बना है? खाने का किन चीजों से बना है? जो खाना के अपन ने जो बुत रखे थे वो भी उन्हीं चीजों से बने थे जैसे खाने का बना है. मैं कोई अनोखी बात नहीं कर रहा ना, मुझे चारों के आप साथ दे रहा. सोचें. The idols placed inside the Kaaba, वो इसी मून रॉक से तो नहीं बने थे. इसी जमीन पे जो चीजें मौजूद थी, those elements present here, उसी चीजों से बने थे. खाने का भी उन्हीं चीजों से बना था. फर्क ये था, ये तुमने बनाया, ये इब्राहिम ने बनाया. सजदा पत्थर की दानी भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं कह रहा हूं इसलिए कर रहे हैं. The whole point is अल्लाह की मैं.
क्या बात है?
मेरी बात मानो. अब मैं जिस तरफ तुम्हारा सर पे हूँ, कहूँ सजदा मुझे करो तो सर यहाँ झुके, कहूँ इताअत इनकी करो तो दिल वहां झुके. The whole point is this. Ud'uni astajib lakum. The point is this. Now when I've heard your call, I will direct you to a door. Go to that door and then ask through that door. That door is Muhammad and al-Muhammad alayhi salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
I hope inshallah there's an understanding in this regard. वरना फिर डॉक्टर के पास जाना छोड़ दें कि वो इलाज बताएगा. उसको अल्लाह ने दिया है वो आप तक पहुंचा रहा है। जिसको अल्लाह ने सब कुछ दिया उसके बाद आप जा नहीं रहे। उसको अल्लाह ने इल्म तिब दिया है, उसको अल्लाह ने हिकमत दी है, उसके बाद आप जा रहे हैं। यहाँ मसला है या परेशानी है, जो आपके पास अल्लाह का दिया हुआ है वो हमें दे दें। जिसको अल्लाह ने सब कुछ दिया है, उनके पास जाने को तैयार हूँ। बकौल अल्लामा तारिक रज़ी साहब के, खुदा के दर्जात बुलंद करें। मस्जिद के चंदा मांगते वक्त या अल्लाह याद नहीं आता हमको। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व अलैहि हमें मना करते हैं किसी और से नहीं मांगो, चंदा जो है वो अल्लाह के अलावा से मांगा है, अल्लाह के घर के लिए। When you sit with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu salam, when you engage with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu salam, they will quench your thirst for knowledge, which is worldly knowledge, but the whole point of the Ahlul Bayt is to elevate your status. अक्सर लोग ये सोचते हैं कि हम अहले बैत के पास जाएंगे तो इंसान बन जाएंगे। वो फलसफी इंसान होता है जो कमाल इंसानियत होता है। आने के लिए कम से कम इंसान होना चाहिए, फिर वो महराज देंगे इस इंसान को। Sometimes we have issues, very core, very fundamental human issues. Some people complain about certain things, and it's very embarrassing to talk about it on the minbar. For instance, hygiene, when it comes to how people behave in different places. These are human fundamental issues. We need to sort them out. इसके लिए वही की जरूरत नहीं है। जो छोटे issues हैं, these human issues, and how even human behavior, how do I behave with a fellow human being? التبسم في وجه أخيك صدقة. When you see a Muslim brother, a mu'min brother, your brother, and you smile, the Prophet says this is sadaqah. इसके लिए वही की जरूरत नहीं कि आपको साथ माँ बाप ने सिखाया आपको तमाम चीजें। उनका लुत्फ है तुमने सिखा दिया कि इंसान इस तरह बनते हैं बेटा, अब अगले मराए। But if you work on yourself, each and every one of us, and we elevate ourselves to a point of at least humanity, then we sit at the feet of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu salam. That is what they have to offer. Their job is to connect you with the malakut. Their job is to connect you with the unseen. The whole point of wahi is to teach you, no matter how many labs establish, how many research you do, you will never arrive at the truth that they can share with you, because it can't be seen. It can't be proved in a lab. It is not tangible. The sense within us does not exist. That is the role of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So why Ahlul Bayt? وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. इन्नी करीब एक स्पिरिचुअल प्रॉक्सिमिटी है, और इन्नी करीब हुसैन के पास जाओ, अली की ज़ियारत पे जाओ, मदीने चले जाओ, मक्के चले जाओ, मैं तुमसे यहाँ करीब, मैं तुम्हारी दुआओं को मुस्तजाब। May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to visit these places, to garner and gain deeper understanding. I can speak for as many hours as I needed to speak. But when you have made the intention to understand, only then will the intention come. Only then will the understanding come. You need to be sincere when you visit the Imam and ask for understanding sincerely. If the purpose of the Ahlul Bayt is to elevate mankind to a status so high that he then merits the sujood of the malaika, how did humanity then treat Imam Hussain? These people are supposed to be cherished, these people are supposed to be loved, these people are supposed to be respected, but we see a very different way of how people behave with the Ahlul Bayt themselves. There came a time in Medina Munawwara where Imam Hussain ﷺ was asked to come to the Darul Imara, the governor's residence. The Imam comes to his brothers and he says, I feel Muawiyah has passed away and Yazid has ascended the mimbar and these people want bay'ah from me. So as the history tells us, Imam Hussein with his companions, his brothers, he goes to the governor's place, and exactly this is how it happens. He says Yazid has ascended the mimbar, and he wanted to do bay'ah of Yazid. Imam Hussein says these things, talk of politics, does not happen in the middle of the night. Meet us in the daytime and we should announce how we feel about it. He comes home and the famous line you've heard many times, it says, O Zainab Salamullah alayhi, Medina is no longer a place that Hussein and his family can live in. It has become very difficult for us to live and abide in Medina. Prepare the caravan, we should leave. And this is the departure of Imam Hussein. The historians have written the account of how Imam Hussein has left Medina. The horses and the camels and the caravans, and how the ladies were escorted, each woman to their respective mount, and then they departed and they left Medina. This is how Imam Hussein is leaving Medina to Rasul. The women of the wives of the companions, of the people who really loved Imam Hussein, who did not accompany, it is a sad day for them. And then there's another departure of Imam Hussein from the tents on the day of Ashura in Karbala. This time when he departs the tents on the day of Ashura, there's no women with him. There's no men with him. There's no one to help him ride his women out. There's no one to help him see him off. Imam Sajjad bi'idhnillah, the only male who's left, who wants to then go support and help his father. The riwayat mentioned, the historians mentioned, from the tent, a sound of crying and wailing emerges. Imam Hussein turns around and he asks, he says, what is this crying? He says, once you've said, Hal min nasirin yansurna, Hal min mughithin yughithuna, it is Ali Akbar, he has dropped himself from the cradle. Ali Asghar has dropped himself from the cradle. Imam Hussein goes to Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam and picks him up. And this is when he leaves the camp with Hazrat Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam. I don't know what goes through the heart of Imam Hussein because he is a Ma'soom. But I can imagine what must go through the hearts of the little children present in the tent with Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. A little child can imagine that an elder fellow who goes to the battlefield to fight, he may be killed. Ali Akbar went, he was killed. Qasim went, he was killed. Abu al-Fadl Abbas went and he was killed. It says, but a 6-month-old baby does not fight. There is no battle for a child. Maybe after the enemy has killed all of my father's friends, maybe he has some mercy in his heart, and maybe he's ready to give us some water. What else would a child imagine? Why else would a child think that Imam Hussein is here to collect Ali al-Asghar and take him outside to the battlefield? What transpires, but then I ask, what must the sentiment be of the little children, the boys and the girls, when they see Imam Hussein return and his face is full of blood, and his beard is full of blood, and he has Ali al-Asghar in his arms, and there's an arrow in his throat. What must have settled in the hearts of the children? It says, if they have no mercy for a child who's 6 months old, what will become of us after Hussein ibn Ali is killed? What will become of us after Imam Hussein is gone? This is why they say the narration. As soon as the tents were burned, the children escaped and they would run in all different directions. Because maybe this was in their mind. If this is what they did to Ali Asghar, how will they treat the rest of them? And this is the test of Bibi Zainab Salam alayha when she comes out and she says, oh my sisters, let's look for the children of Hussein. Let's look for the children of the companions who come out. And when she goes looking for each child, she says, one of the children is missing. I do not see Ruqayya or Suqayna. I do not see the daughter of Imam. And she comes with the sisters and she calls upon. It says, oh, you daughter of Imam Hussein, where are you? She is found, where? She's found in the battlefield. A little girl, hugging a body which is headless. Bizi Zainab goes up to this girl and she says, little girl, how did you come about this? Let's go back. If there's no, let me stay with my Baba. It's like, how do you know this jasad belongs to your Baba? She says, I was running towards the battlefield and I was crying, Baba, Baba. He says, from this body, I was called Ilayya, Ilayya. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أيام منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضي الله من أمري ما دام حسين يا حسين
يا حسين